Meat
Yeah.
Loaf. Ladies and gentlemen, Meat Loaf, okay?
Man, you have so much cool history, okay? On this podcast here,
Yes.
we like to talk about the coolest of the cool. And I'm going to bring up something, I don't know if it gets much cooler than this.
Okay.
Let's go back to 1978.
Yep.
Okay. You performed with Meat Loaf
Yes, I did.
on Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
Christopher Lee was the guest on the show that night. The cast, in my humble opinion, is the greatest cast that Saturday Night Live ever had. We've got Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, Jane
Correct.
Curtin, Bill Murray, Lorraine Newman, Garrett Morris, Gilda Radner. Take us back to that night, if
Yeah.
you don't mind. That was almost 50 years ago. What do you remember? What stories can you share with us about that night that I guess enough time has gone by, you won't get anybody in trouble?
Well, me always being the kind of shy, really, like, I really got the importance of it. I didn't know it years later I'd be in KISS, but I am the only KISS member to do Saturday Night Live.
That's huge.
And that's pretty big.
Especially that era.
Yeah,
It's the best.
exactly. Honestly, the whole Meat Loaf thing, once it took off,
Yeah.
it took off so big.
Yeah.
Everything was kind of like a shock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I almost felt like I was an observer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But of course I could play my guitar, but between him being over the top, 9 people on stage, right? And the cast of his management, and Steinman, who's such a talented man, you know, being so eccentric in some ways.
Yeah.
It was really weird in many ways what I had to manage, you know.
Yeah.
Working with my brother had its
Yes.
complexities, but
Yep.
it was perfect. Meat Loaf called us Killer and Pretty Boy. And Bob had big cojones, if you know what I mean. And I'm kind of like the tall guy with the huge head of hair who's kind of like,
And don't forget the mustache.
you know, and a mustache,
Right,
a porn
right.
mustache, right. And I remember, you know, their stage is not big. It's a
Right.
television studio. So I do remember that 9 of us being up there with a grand piano. I remember when I got to watch 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad backstage after the first performance, there was a guy who was handling the publishing who actually is a famous songwriter. I didn't even realize it until more recently when Lisa and I went to see some guy perform a song, and he mentions his name, and it was Earl Schulman, and I go, who wrote this beautiful, what? He wrote this beautiful song?
Yeah.
I didn't even put that together, but I later on, right after that, reached out to the drummer from that era of the Meat Loaf band to say, like, tell me about Earl. I didn't know this. I just thought he had a publishing company and was wise enough to get Steinman involved, you know what I mean? But I remember saying to Earl, you know, like, you kind of see me there. Do you think there's any other shots? You know what I mean? Again, there's 9 people. And I was going to focus on Meat and Carla and the singers. And by the way, I'm still very tight with Carla DeVito. She's lovely. Married to Robbie Benson, who's such a talented guy.
Right.
Yeah, and we've done some autograph shows together and got to go out to dinner.
Her vocals
Wonderful
are just
people.
unbelievable.
You know,
Unbelievable.
So, but just to tie in what it is to do Saturday Night Live. So we get through the 2 songs. The introduction by Christopher Lee, I'll never forget, because it was obviously a great setup.
Right.
You know, Meat
Yeah.
Loaf, ladies and gentlemen, Meat Loaf. Okay, you know, and of course we played great. It was well received, and you know they're pretty stingy about Saturday Night Live being shared and everything.
Okay.
So how much viral it went or how much YouTube is out there, but it is out. You know, somehow it was amazing. There's always an after party for a Saturday night. Who would know? So I could clearly see myself on the stage at the end where everybody celebrates the show and there's a sax player and they're playing that kind of jazzy R&B thing. Everyone's happy, everyone's applauding, and I'm like, it's Gilda Radner. Oh my God, I'm high-fiving. You know, the cast of Saturday Night Live. I'm freaking out. But then there's an after party at a local groovy New York bar, restaurant or something. And they were all there, and I'm just out of my mind. I mean, I just have little glimpses of that in my brain. And then my conversation with Earl backstage, you think anyone will know I was on the, on the TV?
Right.
You know, so, and there were many highlights during Meat Loaf that were similar. Just very bizarre. Wonderful success, but this huge entourage, doing it.
I can imagine.